Hey, it's Coach Carol coming to you today to talk about a sensitive topic about anger in marriage. Does your husband get angry from time to time? Have you been told that you need counseling and perhaps that separation will get him to change? And gosh, if he doesn't change, that maybe you need to get divorced because after all, you deserve better, right? That's what I was told. Even though my church stands against divorce strongly, everyone around me told me that I deserved better and really implied that the church maybe was too strict on this topic, right? But is anger really abuse? When he gets angry because I go to him to talk about finances, for instance, maybe things are tight and we're not able to pay the light bill or maybe the mortgage one month, and gosh, he gets angry. Like, why can't he talk like an adult? Why can't we come up with a plan? Why does he have to go to anger? Gosh. Right? Or when the dog takes off for the third time in a week and, you know, it's nighttime and he gets angry about that. Like, what is up with that? Right? Like, screaming rage over a dog is just craziness. He could go look for her, right? I don't deserve to get yelled at about the dog. Or maybe the time when we were all the family was everybody's outside cleaning up the yard and he got angry. It's like, what bee got in his bonnet because I don't deserve to get yelled at, especially in front of the children, right? Like, that's abusive. Or is it? Is his anger really abusive, as so many say? Is it a reason to drag him to counseling and perhaps even thinking about divorce? And that's what I did. I dragged him to counseling. I went to counseling. Like, we did so many different programs. And I wouldn't admit it then, but really it's because I was hoping that they would point out that he's the problem, right? That he needs to change, that it's his anger and he needs to get help. Turns out that complaining about my husband for an hour a week to the counselor did not make any changes. In fact, if we got there and we weren't fighting, we were always fighting when we left because opening up wounds and digging into the causes of things only made things worse. It never made things better. And we spent thousands of dollars hoping that this was going to change because we really did want our marriage to succeed. But something was missing, like it was not working. We ended up separated and on the road to divorce despite all the people that we talked to and all the books we read and all the help that we reached out for. I felt so hopeless. For 26 years, we had struggled, ups and downs. It wasn't until I found Laura Doyle and the 6 intimacy skills that I realized that I was missing key puzzle pieces that are not taught in school, that my mother didn't know, that my grandmother didn't know, which is why they both ended up divorced 3 times each, right? Like, divorce is rampant out there because we're missing skills. And I found them. God led me to them. Right, right. The truth is, we all get angry at times. We're human beings. We're not perfect. Heck, even Jesus got angry, right? So God made us all different. Not wrong, just different, right? But he sees things differently than I do. God brought us together with a mission to learn how to love, to ultimately get each other to heaven. Not to stand in self-righteous indignation that he's just a screw up, right? Why the heck did I ever marry him? I know best. Gosh, that was my arrogance, my pride, my selfishness and self-righteousness. I had a beam sticking out of my eye of my sins. Never mind what my husband was doing, right? It was when I let go of pointing the finger at him and being on his paper, so to speak, to getting on mine and learning skills that could change me. That's when our relationship started to spiral up. That's when things got better. That's when miracles happened for us. So that we went from separated, heading for divorce, to this year celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary and things being better than ever. Total miracle. Total miracle, right? So was his anger abuse? Was it worthy of divorce? the path that the counselors had us headed on? No, no, it wasn't. So what about the problems when we would talk about finances and he would get angry, right? What I've learned is that day after day, week after week, when I would come to him with worries about finances, what he was hearing was complaint that he wasn't working hard enough, that he wasn't good enough, that he wasn't a good provider. And so, yeah, he got defensive and he got angry. Was that the best response? Well, maybe not. But was I communicating my worries and concerns in the best way? Yeah, maybe not either, right? That there are different ways to express things to our men that actually empower them rather than having them end up being so angry. Or what about the dog incident, right? Well, honestly, there was more to that story. That night, there was a huge storm. It was freezing cold out there. That I had let the dog out to pee, but I hadn't watched her. And nobody had been walking her regularly, so she had tons of pent up energy, and she just took off, right? So he loved that dog. That was the heart message. He loved that dog, and he did not want her to freeze to death out there that night. So perhaps was I a bit disrespectful? Yeah, probably was. And did he have a right to get upset about that? Yeah, like even Jesus got angry, right? Well, right about the time, right, where that we were in the yard and he was working, like what right did he have to get angry and yell at me or the kids being out there working? Well, turns out that having mom back the kids in their whining about how they didn't want to work and making dad out to be the bad guy was a bit disrespectful. And he kind of felt it, right? That he wanted me to be believing in him as a dad who was trying to father his children and raise them in a way that they could learn how to work hard together as a family and what family life meant. And yet there I was knocking him down, making him out to be the bad guy. A little disrespectful. Yeah, a lot disrespectful. And so in hindsight now with the skills, I can see how I was hurting him and hurting our relationship. And I could not have seen that before. I was missing key relationship skills. And though I had run a successful office and successful businesses, those skills did not translate into running and a family, right? I didn't know that. I didn't know that I should change my hat from the business skills to the relationship skills. And those were part of the key puzzle pieces that I was missing. And there were more. So, the church really teaches that the challenges in marriage and in family life are about teaching us how to love, teaching us how to go deeper, teaching us how to turn away from, sinful ways and selfish ways and learning how to be more compassionate, more kind, more caring, and learning how to love the way Christ loves, right? Sacrificially. Even to the cross. And so these skills have empowered me to be able to do that without throwing in the towel, without breaking up my family. Really, right? It was all about prayer and getting on my knees and calling upon that grace that was bestowed upon us when we stood at the altar with our vows. So on my knees, I prayed with lots of tears for God to come in and to help me. And he did. He did. He brought me these skills. And really, right, Laura Doyle and her Surrendered Wife and Empowered Wife books are where it's at, right? Those are where the skills were that empowered me. And now as a certified marriage coach working on Laura's campus as their Catholic coach, that I am here to empower women of all faiths because we all deserve intact families to be able to work with these skills, to learn them. I couldn't have done it without a coach, without a like-minded community that was standing behind me, all women who were committed to learning new ways of being in relationship. And really, right, that's my passion. That's my God-given purpose. That is my calling. And so I just want you to know that if you're struggling, you don't need to anymore. I don't want you anymore. God hates divorce. And finally, there are skills that can really empower you to be able to turn things around. And I just want to shout it from the rooftops because the message, as hard as we are working to get it out there, it's still, people resist it, right? People resist hearing that there's something different. And I want you to know that there's hope. If you're struggling or you know someone that's struggling, there is hope, all right? I do one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. I do talks and workshops. And I have a private Facebook group called the Happy Wife Community that all the wives are invited to come join. And I would love, I'll put the link down below, and I would love to also share a PDF of the 5 mistakes wives make. And when you put your email in there, you will get other emails from me that just give more information about my services. And you can unsubscribe anytime, but it will link you to me as the Catholic coach on the campus. And so I really don't want you to struggle one more day. And if you are ready to learn the skills that can bring about and transform you and your marriage, come and join the Happy Wife communities, ladies. And that divorce really is not the answer. You can turn things around. I am standing for you. And I just thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe to this channel, like it, leave a comment down below. It does help to get the message out. And feel free to reach out and message me. All right. Take good care. Bye-bye.